Today on Joe's Geek Show, we're going to be talking about The Flash, issue 774. What's going on, and welcome to Joe's Geek Show, the video series where we talk comics. And before we get started, if you're new and like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and sharing. And with that, we've got Wally West going on a father-daughter dance with his little girl, Irie. And of course, being a superhero comic, things are bound to go wrong. Written by Jeremy Adams with art by Christian Deuce, colors by Hi-Fi, and letters by Steve Wands. And this book begins with a man by the name of Dr. Nightmare using a machine on a woman to extract her nightmare, making it corporeal. Meanwhile, Wally is preparing for his first father-daughter school dance when Irie comes down and the two pose for a picture. At this moment, Dr. Nightmare detonates a smoke bomb on Central City, which knocks out everyone except Irie and Wally. The two arrive at the school and notice that not only is everyone asleep, but they themselves can't use their speed powers. They quickly get back to the car when Irie notices Dr. Nightmare and jumps from the vehicle, causing Wally to run after her. He tries to convince her to stay, but she talks her way into going, where they then overhear his monologue, getting his story and how he manages to do what he does when Irie moves to steal the dream device and Wally distracts the doc just long enough for her to succeed. The two then run, now being chased by various nightmares, and Irie puts on the helmet in order to use her dreams to fight, which Wally sings her a lullaby, and soon Dr. Nightmare gets a taste of his own medicine, with nightmares fighting dreams, allowing Wally to knock the doc out. The story begins to wrap up with Dr. Nightmare being arrested and Wally taking Irie to Paris, where they then have their dance, ending with the spear that had been rocketing towards Earth, landing on the planet. And this was a fun book. The relationship between Wally and Irie is very relatable. I mean, it's just a dad who wants to take his daughter out on their first dance before she grows up and, can't do those things anymore or doesn't want to do those things anymore. And I like how we can see this both in his mannerisms as well as his dialogue with Linda. And I will say the scene where he sings that lullaby to his little girl, that choked me up, man, because, I sing to my little girl. And it might be a little projecting, but I kind of feel like I get Wally at this point. This is a moment that, he'd love to freeze. He wants to stop his little girl from growing up. If he could keep her tiny forever, that would be awesome. Because at its heart, this is a very sentimental story. I also like the panels with the battle between Dr. Nightmare's, nightmare creatures and Irie's dream creatures, because, a child's imagination can be very creative. And I like how this was actually set up towards the beginning of the issue, where Wally and Irie, they're driving towards the dance, and Irie is talking about this golden robotic lion that can shoot lasers from his eyes, which was then paid off when she realized her dreams, and that golden robot lion was there, though he didn't shoot lasers from his eyes, which is kind of disappointing because, I was looking forward to shooting eye laser beam golden robot lion. Broken promises. Now, at first, Dr. Nightmare seems like this really interesting new creative Flash villain, but the more I read the story and the more I got to know this character, he started to seem a little familiar. And after a while, I'm like, wait, this is the Scarecrow. And of course, one major difference between the two is Scarecrow uses fear toxins to make people see their worst fears and hallucinate them, whereas Dr. Nightmare actually found a way to make them corporeal. But really, the Scarecrow coming up with a way to make people's nightmares and fears corporeal would be an interesting next step in his character. I mean, again, they are scientists who were using unconventional means to do their work. They got scorned by their colleagues, they got fired, and they both weaponize fear. And I know that Scarecrow is a Batman villain, but we've had some crossovers before where villains kind of go off into other books. Plus, I think it would just be cool to watch the Flash take on the Scarecrow. I'm also not convinced that Wally would look at purple fog and just think it's fog, because fog isn't purple. There's also the matter of Wally allowing Irie to tag along with him to go kind of spy on Dr. Nightmare, when they both very much know that their powers are not working properly. Which means if things really do hit the fan, then neither Wally nor Irie can get themselves out of there. I think having Wally stand his ground and having her wait in the car would have been a better approach, and then having her decide, no, my dad might need my help, and then goes. But ultimately, I liked it more than not, and I gotta commend Adams for giving me a Flash book where Wally never actually uses his speed powers or puts on the Flash suit. By the time I got to the end of the issue, I'm like, oh, he didn't wear the suit at all. And to be honest, I didn't miss it. And when it comes to the art, Christian Deuce is obviously very competent. He's worked on these Flash books before, a lot with the Joshua Williamson run specifically. He's got really good dynamic angles, and colors by Hi-Fi are colors by Hi-Fi. I like Hi-Fi's colors. I also thought that the creature designs were really creative as I was sitting there looking at the panels, trying to look at each and every single one. And if you can get me to pause for just a few extra seconds to really look at what's on the page, you're doing it right. Unless I'm actually staring at the page because I don't know what the heck is going on, but that's not the case here. Though it would have been cool to have a few extra panels of the creatures just battling it out, primarily so I could see the golden robot lion uses eye lasers. So again, I think it was a fun issue with a lot of heartfelt moments, a lot of sentimentality, a couple unrealized concepts, and a villain that I really think should have been the Scarecrow. And with that, I'm going to score The Flash, issue 774, a 7.5 out of 10. So The Flash, issue 774. What did you think about this book if you read it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you liked this video, I'd love it if you'd smash that like button, share it with some friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos. Alright, take care, have a great day, and as always, stay geeky.